Well, for months and really for years, we have witnessed efforts by a small but vocal minority on college campuses to silence conservatives through thought and protests. In many cases, some of these have broken into the kind of violence that you saw there in Berkeley, California back in February. Well, that went well, right? That protest at Middlebury College earlier this year, where Dr. Charles Murray was shouted down from a podium. A professor who escorted him off of campus was injured in the course of all that. Her hair was pulled, her neck was twisted. She ended up in a neck brace for a little bit. So maybe it's not so surprising that according to this new poll, a majority of Republicans, 58%, now believe that colleges and universities have a negative effect on the country. Only 36% see them as positive. That's pretty sad. So here now, the man subjected to that campus reaction that we just showed you, Dr. Charles Murray, an American Enterprise Institute scholar. Dr. Murray, great to have you with us this evening. And obviously, this goes into a lot of the work and the things that you've talked about recently. That number probably doesn't surprise you all that much.
No, it surprises me in this sense that universities should be popular places.
Yeah.
Historically, we think of universities as teaching kids and making great discoveries and all that. And what I think has happened that creates that result of disapproval is a lot of colleges, a lot of departments in colleges have taken up social justice as their cause. It's no longer the search for truth. It's advancing an agenda. And it's obviously a left agenda, and conservatives are reacting.
And when you look at the numbers for Democrats, they feel an overwhelmingly positive feeling about what's going on university campuses. And it goes to the heart of the division that is so deep in this country. And we've talked about this a lot on this show in terms of, people even picking neighborhoods and towns based on their political leaning and not wanting to be sort of even at the grocery store with somebody who disagrees with them.
Exactly, let alone go out to dinner with somebody who disagrees with you. And this attitude that if somebody is on the other side, they must be evil as well as mistaken. And I've got to say, this is prevalent on both sides of the political aisle, and it's poisonous.
So in terms of our institutions, the media obviously has been hit very hard in this as well. Churches in this country also sort of, experiencing this deep division. Is there anything that can be done to change it? Or are we so dug in that there's really no turning back here?
We sure don't have any policy solutions that I can think of. You're starting to hear voices that are trying to cut across the divide. There is a man at New York University named Jonathan Haidt, who is a social psychologist who has brought out into the open the degree to which sociology and psychology are dominated by one political ideological viewpoint. And he himself, he's not a conservative, is trying to form a group that has people from all parts of the ideological spectrum in the academy who talk to each other and who say, you know what, it's part of the university to disagree about issues, but that doesn't mean you have to hate each other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I don't know how you get an education unless you hear both sides, and then you can arrive at your own conclusions based on a solid argument, which is what Middlebury was trying to do when they brought you in, but it didn't work out very well.
The audience that we have right now listening to us, I guess that you asked, what's the solution? The solution is for all of us just to back off in terms of demonizing people we disagree with. So whether you're on Twitter or you're on Facebook, it's got to start with us. The politicians can't lead us back to a civil dialogue again. There has to be some kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, a great awakening about the importance of civility and dialogue as part of America's tradition.
I got to ask you this quick question before you leave, and it's kind of a big topic. But I read that you've said you're agnostic when it comes to religion, but you said, I'm increasingly shaky in my unbelief.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, I have a couple of things have happened. One is in doing a book called Human Accomplishment, I became aware of what a positive force Christianity had been in Western civilization. And then also, as I've gotten older and watched my wife, who is much further along on this, I've decided that there's a lot of things that need to be taken very seriously that I didn't take very seriously for too long in the spiritual realm.
Very interesting. Dr. Charles Murray, come back. It's always good to talk to you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.